Hey, everybody, welcome back and good morning to this episode of Sales Edition Think Business. Looking forward, very excited to talk to Pat Blackwell. Pat, you are, I think, you define customer experience, define customer just everything. I mean, you are all about making other people not only happy, but I mean, we're going to get into everything that you do. You're the founder of two companies, Red Coat Ladies and Jewish Party Maven. Jewish Party Maven coaching vendors to honor traditions for Jewish celebrations, and Red Coat Ladies, which is basically you run the show for mostly weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, and hands down, we had you for my daughter's bat mitzvah, the best investment ever made.
Awesome.
Hands down.
Yeah,
hands down.
Hello,
Right.
hello,
And welcome. And I just want to say this too, because when we were referred to you for my son's bar mitzvah, we thought we had so many people in the mix, right? The party planner, this, and we thought, oh, we don't need Red Coat Ladies. And then from my daughter's bar mitzvah, somebody said, you got to have it, because during my son's bar mitzvah, I found myself in the kitchen because the food was slow, and I found myself saying, like, guys, what's going on with the fries and the this and the that? And then we called you, and within 5 seconds, you said, you're going to feel like a guest at your party. I will have complete control over everything. And I can say with 1,000% certainty, you did. You made the night. Great for my entire family. So I love having you on the show. And I know you have worked with Jeff as well. We'll let him get into his thing in a second. But I want to kick off by talking about, as a business coach, I guarantee that I return every call, text, email, same day, and I do. And I can guarantee it because it's in my DNA. What is it in your DNA that allows you to perform at such a high level when it comes to satisfying your clients?
I watched people who for years have not enjoyed their party. And that's why I started this whole company. The whole idea of the Red Coat Ladies is to get you to enjoy your party. So when I hire people, I tell them that we need to pretend like we're the parents at the party. If something would bother us as parents at the party, that's our job. It's not our job to clean the toilet. It's our job to notice the toilet needs cleaning and go find the person to take care of it. Yeah. It's not our job to serve the French fries. It's our job to communicate to the kitchen so that they know when it's time to serve the fries, and so that we're all on the same team. And I work really hard before the party ever starts to make sure that all those vendors understand the plan. Of course, things change. Things always change. But to have a plan to start with is huge. And I'm the master of checklists. I have monster checklists, and I ask thousands of questions. And by the time that first meeting's over, the hosts are going, whoa. And then I know I've done my job, because when I think of things they haven't thought of, then we get all those problems taken care of prior to the party ever starting.
Yeah. I have one more question, Jeff, and then I'll let you jump in. But this is important, because I think there's two ways that people look at things: as an investment or as an expense. And I think someone could look and say, well, what do I need you to talk to all of the vendors and make sure that everything goes right? And, they're professionals and they know what they're doing. But all of a sudden you're in the, you're playing this game with all these moving parts in a very short span. Why should people look at you as the master facilitator, the quarterback, even if it'll cost them a little extra money? Why should they do that? Why is it you? And why do all of these other people get confused and not know what to do in the moment of the day?
You only have a 4-hour party or a 5-hour party. Do you want to spend your time coordinating those vendors, or do you want to spend your time on the dance floor? Yeah. My goal is that once you arrive, your job is done. Now your whole focus should be enjoy your guests, eat, smile, dance, take a bunch of pictures. Enjoy the moment. That's what it's all about, being present at your party.
Yeah.
And, the other thing too, is that you say, investment or expense, like you already had an expense, right? Of,
large proportions.
It's a amount of money, right? And for peace of mind, how I look at it is, it just makes so much sense. And, it was a quote unquote investment that I never knew I was making or why, right? Like I like to be involved in things that I like planning and understanding and what's going on and what, I'm not totally out of the loop, but, once I saw how it went, and just for my experience, so everybody knows, like, Pat took care of me and the entire, our family, by the way, do you need water? Do you want some food? Do you, just catering to us where it's like, listen, you know what, we those are things that when you're doing it yourself, you just don't think about, and you get to the end of the night and you're starving or, whatever the situation may be. So certainly commend you on that. So I was kind of looking into you a little bit, and the story I think is interesting.
What story is that?
Well, just how you came from where you came from, being on a farm in Minnesota and then coming to, Detroit, and then you're the building manager at Temple Israel. And then what's interesting to me is I would like to, and you noticed a need, being there, you had, the forethought to think, well, like this could be something that could be a business. How did that happen? What was the first thing that kind of occurred to you to turn this into a business, which, in turn is sales, you're selling yourself and your service. And I think it would be interesting to hear for sure.
So I never dreamed I would start a business. I have 10 brothers and sisters in Minnesota, grew up on a farm with this huge bunch of work ethic, which is unusual these days, I know, but I grew up believing that hard work is okay. I don't mind hard work. I am a worker bee, and I'm totally willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. And I choose my staff accordingly. But in terms of starting a business, I never started helping people to start a business. I just started helping people, and then it turned into a business. And I was working at Temple Israel, like you said, and I loved it. But then someone called who said, my party's not at Temple. Can you help me? Okay, sure. Then someone called and said, my party's at the Ritz-Carlton. Can you help me? Okay, sure. Yeah, I can do that. And pretty soon I was working a bunch. And then I left Temple Israel and thought I was done with bar mitzvahs. And my phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing. And I said, you know what? Okay, I could do this. And then it became a business. But I'd already done this 3 years already as a side job.
Right.
So then I got serious about it.
And when people called you, right, it's like the ultimate beta test, right? It's like you kind of test the waters. You start at the Ritz, you go over here, you do this. When people were calling you, what were they saying that just give me the bridge, give the Think community a bridge of what were they saying where you thought, I can really not only turn this into a business, but really monetize and make money off of this business, right?
The general phone call goes like this. Look, I don't know what you do or what you charge, but my friend said I have to have you. So sign me up. And that was a real eye opener because I'm not used to that world where you don't ask about price. I'm used to a world where every dollar counts and you manage that money carefully. And I'm not saying they don't manage it carefully, but clearly it was worth it. Price was not an issue. Yeah. I remember having a conversation at one point with one of the rabbis, and I said, you know what, I'm charging this much money to manage these parties. And they said, wow, you may have hit the top end of what people are willing to pay. My wife is a nurse and she doesn't make that much money. And well, that was long ago when I charged $300 a party. Things have changed significantly, but my role has changed significantly. I used to have a checklist running in my mind, and then I wrote down a big checklist. And now with Excel and all the amazing technology that's out there, my checklist is 5 pages. And I like that. I like having things that people haven't thought about. You only do these big parties once or twice in your life, or if you have an Orthodox family, maybe you're doing it 10 times in your life. But you don't get good at it in that short of time. With weddings, you do once in your life, or if things go badly, then you do it again, but differently. And you don't get good at doing weddings either. And so having a professional in that role is huge. So my little market turned into a big market, and I work in this very tight-knit Jewish community, and my clients are the most amazing, appreciative people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. I mean it. It's a great thing to be part of people's happiest days in their lives.
Yeah.
Memories are bonded with emotions, and I work at high emotion days.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I think like one of the main things is that, even I would imagine or hope that people see, as they talk to you, you have a passion for what you do, and you love it, and you love the people that you work with, and you're obviously good at it, but mainly you're sincere, like you actually want to help people and do the right thing. And I think, in sales, I mean, that's a huge piece of it. Like, yes, obviously there's money behind it, and everyone wants to make money and needs to make money. And, but if you can find a business where you're dealing with people and you love it and you're sincere about it, which you have, I think it turns into something for sure. And, kind of leads me to my next question is that, so trust, I think is really why people use you, and obviously word of mouth is part of that. But how did you initially, create that trust? Or, I would imagine that you deal with all levels of personalities along the way, and
sure.
Some people are more nervous than others, and some people, it's just from one end of the spectrum to the other. How do you continually create that trust in your clients?
Again, I think it starts with the checklist. When I start asking people, what are you doing about this? How are you doing this? How are you handling this? And they realize that they don't know a whole bunch of things. There's, the old, I don't know what I don't know. Once I convince them there's a lot that they don't know about this party that they've been planning for a year or two, then that builds a huge amount of trust.
Sure.
And when I say I'm going to be there at noon and I show up at 11, that's a confidence builder. And by the time they see me at noon, I've already talked to the florist, I've already talked to the decorators, I've already talked to this and this and this. And so I can walk in and say hello and say, oh, your flowers look amazing and this looks good and this is all set. And it's just a comfort level. That's what it's all about. It's when I talk to them, I can see their shoulders go, okay, she's got this.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
But it's also something that I think I would think that there's challenges for you too, because it's hard to fully define what you do. I mean, you can articulate it, you can share stories, you can give examples. But I think then there's that bridge, I would think, in your business where this is what I do. This is the extra that I can do. But by the way, you got to pay for it, because all of this isn't in just this. And so, it's like you have these parties that you're doing where they're spending people are spending tremendous amount of dollars. And so sometimes they'll say, oh, now, and then it's kind of like, okay, now this is another potential expense, but it's really an investment. And so, to make a big deal out of an extra couple, this, that, or the other, how do you sell the extra, really the extra oomph that you do? Because I can say firsthand that it was really a game changer for my daughter's bat mitzvah having you there, right? Having your entire team surrounding the room like Secret Service, making sure that everything went perfect. Everything went perfect the whole night. And every vendor was, I'm not going to say that they're terrified of you, but they know that they better step up their game, and they're going to be held way more accountable. We talk a lot in business, Jeff, about accountability. Yeah. They know when you show up to a party, their accountability goes up. They know that they need to be coachable. They know that they are going to perform at a higher level.
It elevates
what I said. Go ahead. What?
It elevates everyone's game.
It elevates everybody's game. You are a game changer. Pat, you went on mute for a second. I'm not sure why. I know you're having some. Oh, there we go. All right.
I'm not touching my computer at all, but whatever. I think that one of my goals as part of doing the best job for the client is getting every vendor to do the best job for the client. Yeah. And I've said to my vendor friends over and over and over again, what can I help you to do the best job ever? What do you need from me? What can I ask in advance to make sure it's ready for you so that you can do the very best job for this client? And when they realize we're on the same page, when we have the same goal of doing the very best job for the client, that's huge. I'm not out there to put my thumb on them and make sure that they do this and that. That's not it at all.
Yeah.
It's about bringing out their best. I'm not the caterer. I want the caterer to do the best catering job ever. I'm not the videographer. I'm not the party planner. And that's a big distinction as well. I'm not a party planner. Party planners are dreamers. Party planners have these grand ideas and they can pick this pink with this purple with this shade of taupe or whatever. That's not me. I'm a checklist girl. So I'm the one to say, okay, your party planner said this and this and this. Now they're exhausted. Let them go home.
Yeah.
So I work with a lot of weddings, especially where the party planner dreams up this amazing day. And by the time the guests arrive, that party planner is exhausted and is thrilled to turn the day over to me.
Yeah. Right. And I just want to specify one thing. You are far from terrifying. I don't mean to have everybody think that, but you are a kind, amazing human being. But there is, but I really do believe everybody steps up their game when you are part of the equation.
I would like to call it respect. I think I'm respected in the vendor community because I know what they're capable of, and I want that for my clients.
Right. I was the same word. I mean, there is a fine line between respect and fear, of course, right? But I think that, people know you've been in the game for a long time, and that's when you're around, you're going to make things go the best they possibly can go, and and elevate everyone's game. And I think what you're talking about too is being an executor.
Absolutely.
Like in sales, and that's what we're kind of talking about here is you got to execute. You got to make it happen. You have to figure out how to get it done. And, however that happens, it happens. But, you have to be the one to do that. And obviously your organization and your process has given you the ability to, continually do that, and repeat it over and over and do it in the same manner and do it great every single time. And so and before I ask my next question, just one other thing too. When you're at parties, it's not just, okay, making sure this person's doing this and their job is this and their job, when you're at a bar mitzvah or a function like that, where there's a ton of children, the kids are, the kids are not always doing the things that they should be doing, right? So wait,
13-year-olds.
So Pat and her team are always making sure that everyone's above board and
You had their team sits in the bathroom to make sure that yes.
Yeah. Hello. Right. In there. Yeah. Anyway, why are there 4 legs in there?
I have some stories about that, but that's not for today.
Yeah, that's a different show.
So my question to you is, I think that, and I hope you're, starting to kind of move into a place where people are planning things, and now you're moving through the COVID scenario. How is being in the industry you're in, this affected you tremendously? And, just kind of want to hear how, at this point, what you're seeing and, coming out and gotten through and things you've done to adapt and change. And
so it's February, right? And my phone's been ringing, and I'm so happy my phone's ringing. My phone is ringing with parties for fall. My phone is ringing with parties for 2022. My phone is ringing with people who are so ready to celebrate again. I see this party world coming back strong, and that's encouraging.
Good.
I think it's great. Just my son is going to IU in the fall, and they just made an announcement that they are going to have in-person classes in the fall. So they are moving in that direction, which is great to see. And it's great to see that the world is coming back, and they're talking about herd immunity, and the vaccines are making people very comfortable. And we're seeing numbers go down. Flu season's at an all-time low, maybe because nobody's seen anybody. But yeah, I think that's great. I would like to talk a little bit about mindset this last year, because right before the show, we were talking about, I was doing a keynote in Nashville last March 1st. And by the time I left on, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd, they were shutting down the world. And you've talked about your calendar just completely morphing. And so what kind of mindset did you need to tap into this past year to kind of get through the year?
So I've told this story a couple times, but I'm going to tell you again. People talk about we're all in the same boat. No, we're not. We're all in the same storm, but we're in very different boats. There are people out there in great big yachts. The party world is not a big yacht. The party world is more like little kayaks. The party world is a whole bunch of solo entrepreneurs who are making it week by week by week in this whole gig economy. And it's been a rocky road. And the traditional horrible thing that happens when there's a hurricane or when there's a tornado, this awful thing happens and then it's over and then everybody rushes in to help. And that's not happening here. What's happening here is there's a tornado. There's another tornado. There's another tornado. There's another tornado. There's another tornado. And I spent weeks with my phone ringing every day. I'm sorry, I'm canceling my party. I'm sorry, I need to postpone my party. I'm sorry, and I feel so bad for these clients who've worked so incredibly hard and want this for their children and want this for their friends and want this for them. And it's awful to say, I understand what you're going through. I'm sorry you need to make these decisions. Here's my options and la-di-da. And it just keeps coming. And so in March, everybody said, well, let's move to June. It'll be done by then. Okay, so move 20 parties to June. Then May disappeared and June disappeared and well, let's move to fall. So I have clients who've gone through this emotional turmoil over and over and over again. In the meantime, their kid's grown up. You don't have a bar mitzvah party with a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And so now the reality is setting in that my kid really doesn't want to have a party anymore, the kind that we thought we were going to have. And so now we're going to have this amazing service and a lunch for our family and we're done. And financially, that's been devastating. But emotionally, it's this roller coaster ride. And you know what? I'm resilient. I know one of the rapid fire questions you ask at the end of is, what's one word to describe yourself? And I think my word is resilient. Yeah. I am strong and you know what? I'm here.
Yeah, you are so resilient, Pat. You're encouraging and inspiring every time I talk to you. Before we do into a quick speed round, tell everybody who your ideal clients are for each of your companies, Jewish Party Maven and Redcoat Ladies Party Assurance.
I'm sorry, tell me who my ideal clients are?
Your ideal clients are, and a little just who, you know.
My ideal client for the Redcoat Ladies, where we manage bar mitzvahs and weddings, is somebody who wants to enjoy their party. If you are having a party and you want to relax and enjoy that party, I'm here for you.
I love it.
My ideal client is someone who understands how hard they work planning things. I work with party planners all over town, but I work with a lot of individual clients who are having a party, who are very capable of choosing a venue, who are very capable of picking their own menu, who can hire their DJ, who may need some resources for phone numbers to call, but are willing to do the work to put that in, because I'm not a party planner. I'm a party manager. I take care of that day. My ideal client for the Jewish Party Maven is a vendor. I want to deal with all the videographers, photographers, the venues who want to work in this Jewish party market, who don't understand the traditions that are so critical to the success of these parties.
Yeah.
I want to train those vendors how to understand these Jewish customs. I mean, okay, so your phone rings and somebody says, I'm having a wedding and I want to make sure you can video the Kabbalat Panim. And you're saying, the what? What are you going to do? You're going to ask your client to explain all this?
Yeah.
You're going to call a local rabbi? How are you going to find this stuff out?
Yeah.
So that's my ideal client. Somebody who wants to do a good job by understanding these traditions.
I love it. I love it. All right, Pat, you ready for the speed round?
Sure.
Jeff, I'll let you toss out the first question.
If somebody was trying to get into what you're doing, what would you tell them today? A younger person that wants to do what you do.
I get that question almost every week. I have all kinds of people who are contacting me now who are graduates of some hotel management program or event management program. My advice is get a lot of experience in different areas. I had a young lady who was fabulous, who was 18, who wanted to be a party planner. I encouraged her to go work for a linen company, go work for a florist, go work for a videographer. Get some experience in all these different areas so that you actually know what you're talking about when you go to plan the party.
And my business coach advice to you is create a coaching business out of that and mentor, coach those people, because there's a lot of value there too. We can talk about that offline. All right, because if you're getting weekly calls, people will pay for your guidance and advice to accelerate it. Favorite best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
Oh, my mom always said, you can do hard things. And now Marie Forleo comes out and she makes this famous quote, you can do hard things. My mom said that a long, long time ago. On the farm, there are not a lot of resources to help you. So you figure out that you can do hard things. Yeah. And I think that's what I carry on today. You can do hard things.
That's great.
I love it. I love it.
Between John and I. I'm just kidding.
What did you say?
I said favorite family you worked with between.
Oh,
John.
right.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Just
well, Pat. Right, exactly. Pat, you are the greatest. Anybody who has you for a party is lucky to have you. And to me, every person that hires you should hire you for the bonus plus deluxe package and let you just kind of run the day. What you do prior to the party, at the party, post party, you're really unbelievable. The business you've built is great. I love I love the resilience that just oozes out of you. And I wish you nothing but great success in the growth of Jewish Party Mavens and Redcoat Ladies, because I think you have an amazing business and you're helping tons of people. Jeff, I'll let you close it up.
Yeah. And, just to obviously, I emulate the same things that John says and it's well worth it. And, I think people should, until they deal with you, they don't know this. So I want to tell them now that they should hire you for the person that you are, and you're somebody who wants to help and you're amazing at what you do. And, there's not a dollar amount that you can put on the value that you guys bring. And it was an honor, of course, working with you and being a part of it. And, anyone would be lucky for sure to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, both of you, for the endorsement. But I have this awesome team of Redcoat Ladies. And
yes.
People often ask me how I recruit people. I have a Redcoat guy who's just awesome too. But I recruit people, and I used to do most of my recruiting at PTA meetings. Because if you're a mom and you're used to juggling a bunch of things, this is a good job for you.
Right.
Yeah. I love it. All right, Pat, thanks very much. This was great. Pat Blackwell can be reached at jewishpartymaven.com or partyassurance.com. She can be found on LinkedIn at Pat Blackwell. And if you want to have the best party of your life and feel like a guest and enjoy every millisecond of it and not have 1 ounce of worry, reach out to Pat. She is the greatest. Thanks, Pat. Jeff, always fun co-hosting with you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Think Community.